Good afternoon, viewers. Mike here. Thanks for joining me today. And what we have is a little session on the precision method of picking up a workpiece edge the old school way. But first, we're going to review a few of the methods that are a little bit more well known. So the first method we're going to look at is the edge finder, and we've all seen these. This is a Lufkin, and it's a 1/2 inch in diameter, and the way we use this is we put it in the spindle, we turn the spindle on to a moderate speed, we move this towards the edge of the workpiece, and it's wobbling. When it starts to spin on center and then slightly slides off to the side, offsets, that is the exact edge of the workpiece in relative position to the edge of your edge finder. This particular one is 1/2 inch diameter, so then a move of 250 thousandths puts the center of your spindle on the exact edge of the workpiece. This isn't a bad method, and it's real common, and we've seen it a lot. And you know, you'll probably get within inside a thousandths on picking up your edge. The second method is, and what I have here is known as a wiggler, and we've seen these quite a bit too. And we probably are more familiar with seeing the point in this wiggler. And yeah, you can use this pointer to pick up a line or an edge or something like that. So when you first put this in the spindle and start your spindle rotation, this will wobble, and using some item, you slowly push this until it's running exactly on center. Okay, so that's the point, but to pick up an edge, the best way is this little tool here that has a ball on the end, and it functions just like an edge finder. This particular ball is looks like 300 thousandths in diameter, and so when it'll wobble until you have it exactly with the edge of the ball on the edge of the workpiece, and then as that crosses that plane, it'll slide offset, and then an adjustment of 150 thousandths will put the edge of the spindle on the edge of the workpiece. So those are those two methods. And by the way, here's another attachment for this wiggler. I don't know if you ever saw one of these. This came with my wiggler, probably 50 years ago, and I've never used it. And I think the way this is used is when you install it in here, you can mount an indicator on there. So it's just a method of holding an indicator with the spindle collet. Never used it, never will. Okay, here's my preferred method. And what this entails is an indicator. And this is my little Federal, my everyday indicator that I used for years and years. And this is simply to hold the indicator and on one end and hold the attachment into the collet on the other. This is shop made, by the way. I made this years and years ago. And this is a piece of gauge stock, probably 10 cents worth of gauge stock, and it's nice and flat. It's been lapped. Probably wouldn't even have to lap it. And then two little Allen wrenches to attach my indicator to the holder here. And so this is my preferred method, and I use this when when you're running a jig grinder or a jig bore, or even Bridgeport when you are boring a hole that has to be in a precision relationship to an edge of a workpiece or two edges of a workpiece. And more often than not, this is what I used. And hold tight and I'll put this in the Bridgeport and I'll give you a look at how this works. Okay, here we are at the Bridgeport, and the first thing to do is put the indicator in the holder in the collet, tighten it down. The Bridgeport or whatever machine spindle is in neutral so that you can rotate it freely with your fingers. And first thing to do is push your indicator in until it looks like it's almost swinging a perfect circle, and that's close enough. Okay, so now what you do is come down and push your indicator into a reading. There's about 0. And if you can see, get it to swing right about on 0. Hope you can see that. Lift the spindle, hold your little piece of gauge stock up on your edge, turn it around backwards, come down, swing it, see where it's reading, make your adjustment half of that distance, adjust to 0, turn your indicator around, check yourself. It's swinging right exactly on 0, and now your spindle is dead center on the edge of your workpiece. Okay, so that takes care of your y-axis. If you wanted to, you could come down and do the same thing on your x-axis, and then you would have the exact corner. So that's the secret right there, and it's about as accurate a way as that you're going to have. So that's all for this tip. Thanks for watching. Okay, since we have a little time left, here's my sign bar that I made, and made in 1966, and carburized and hardened. I did the rolls on a cylindrical grinder, and they were reamed holes, and I lapped them out and put them on a mandrel, and then ground the ODs. And these are just lightning holes. I have a little ledge to stop my workpiece, and this was typically used in conjunction with an angle plate, and you would have your stack of gauge blocks here, and set your workpiece on here, C-clamp it, and then you could take your sign bar away and take it to the surface grinder and do a precision ground angle. So that's my sign bar. And then, I don't know if you've seen one like this. This is a magnetic V-block, and this is made out of aluminum, and it's got a bazillion holes drilled in it, and it has, looks like about, I don't know, 3/16 diameter pins in it. So if you want to grind a 45-degree angle on the edge of a block, you just put your block, your steel block, your magnetic block on here, anything that is magnetic or that attracts magnets. Put that on your surface grinder, energize the magnet, and grind away. And these work very well. You're probably used to seeing the laminated style that has, it'll have like some kind of insulative material and a strip of steel, insulative strip, and so on and so forth, and then riveted together from the ends. And I've seen them made out of everything from, various kind of plastics for insulative material to micarta, and they work very well as well. But I kind of thought this was kind of unique, so that's the style I made. And this was made in 1968. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.